1, 2. Hey folks, how's it going? It is Friday, end of the week. We got there in the end. Hope you've all enjoyed your week. Mine's been pretty good, a little bit stressful in places because there's a lot of work going on in my job. It's all exciting stuff, all stuff that kind of progresses the business, which is kind of what you want for work. So you don't want to be just a ticking time away, not feeling like you're contributing. And I'm very fortunate that I feel like I contribute to my job. So stressful, but contributing, and certainly feel like I'm progressing with stuff, which is cool. But now we can progress with some game dev instead, which is far more fun. Game dev is definitely fun when it isn't stressful. Thankfully, we've not hit the stressful stage of game dev, but I'm sure I'll get there. Let's switch over to the main screen and remind ourselves of where we are. So last week, I compiled this game. I put out a demo, which is on my Discord. The link to it is a limited one. If people want it to be up a bit more permanent, I can stick it on my website. Need to take some things off the website. I got a lot of my old DJ sets on the website, which I'm probably going to have to go through, delete the ones which aren't so good, maybe pick out the top few that are good and leave them on there, and leave space for things like games. But this kind of stuff you can host on itch.io for free, which is good. And you have a proper page, and it's kind of, you can download, you can donate, and all this. So I might end up doing that anyway. But as far as demo is concerned, before I'm happy with the final thing, want the public to get their hands on it, so to speak, I'll do a few more things. So it's exclusively available to all you lovely folks. itch.io is for sex games. There are anything is for sex games. Steam has a lot of sex games. There's a lot of anime girl sex games on Steam. Unfortunately, but there's a lot of cool stuff. Both are not as much as itch. No, itch is very indie, and indie developers when they cross over with weeb kind of stuff, they just want to have sex because they're probably not getting it in real life, unfortunately. No, unfortunately, it has a lot more openness for that, I suppose. But how's it going, Jeffrey? It's good to see you. I'll probably end up putting this out on itch.io anyway. I've got a few people I know who put their game dev work up there, because it's completely free to host. Whereas I think Steam, you have to pay something to have something on Steam. It's not too much, as long as you're earning money back from having the game on Steam. Then it kind of you recover your costs, but you need to sell so many games to recover the cost. Because it's a one-time fee, I believe, and then you get the game on there, and then you just have to sell, I suppose. Keep selling it. You're doing good, glad to hear. And thank you for trying out the game. I'll be, say today, I would like to make a menu, like a proper main menu for this, and then make a level 2. Maybe kind of adjust this as level 1. But I'd like to make a level 2. But first it needs to be a main menu, like the game loads up. You see the main menu, you can change the settings, and then go into level 1. And maybe if I'm feeling creative, I'll probably have like a little intro video, maybe. I can just have like a little character walking along, setting things up, and then into the level. But that'll be something to try at some stage. But we'll give it a go. I'm not 100% sure about showing the item that you're throwing just hovering. But at the moment it's quite good because it shows you what you're throwing and then it kind of disappears from there. But you change it, you see it, we carry on with it. It's certainly a better way of doing it, but I'd have to change a few more things, and it works for now. It works. Considering this is just a game for me to experiment with, I'm not too fussed about it. I would like to add sounds when the tree hits, maybe like the sound of like a bush kind of being shaken. I'm sure I can find a bush shake sound effect. And again, probably don't need this bell tower here, so that can probably disappear. I can probably put like a fence or something in there. Hey, Stream Elements has caught up with it. Well done, Stream Elements. What did you already learn that is going to be a big help for the big game? Animation. Animation's good, so being able to take an object and make it move, which is one of my things that I did not find easy to learn. But that makes more sense. I've done it once. I can look at how this was done and go, ah, that's how I'm doing it. Movement, input keys, being able to move stuff around. I can take that away, like general stuff like that. Sound effects, having sound effects triggered off. Having the spawn, so when the building disappears and all the bricks are spawned, having a spawning thing is quite useful to know. So all the general kind of mechanics that games will have, I can kind of cross-reference and apply. Your basic stuff like collisions, like when things hit another thing, you know that's all you want to do something then. So there's a few things like that I've learned. Making the menu, the main menu for this, will be a great thing because all games need a main menu. So learning that today, I've watched one little video. It was like a 15-minute video I watched earlier. I went, actually, that's pretty simple. And hopefully, making a level 2 would be useful because you're switching environments. You're going from this place to another place. And that's what games do. You go from one place to the other. You need to load another place in. And hopefully keep the memory on the game not too high, so every time you load a level in you want to try and keep the memory kind of balanced so you're not asking more and more of the computer each time you change level. So all those things are going to be useful to apply to all games. There's a few things that will be in the big game that I can't do in this. Maybe I'll try and find something I can put into this that will be useful for the big game. Because I want to have things that move around by themselves. I want NPCs. I want a thing that kind of reacts. Like it will see something happening and it will do something. Whereas at the moment there's only triggers, whereas the rock will hit something, a thing happens. But I want something to be autonomous. I want it to move around. I want it to go, ah, there's a thing happening, let me do this thing, and it does it. Will there be a reference to this in the big game, like Trebuchet boss fight against Castle? That would be fun, actually. Now I've done the work to have the Trebuchet in there, it'll be fun to actually use it. And I can see the Trebuchet working because the big game is going to have a fantasy setting anyway, so things can apply. I want to make my own buildings because the assets I bought and I'm using here is very much stone buildings. I've got a pack of stone buildings that I can use to make a fortification, which is why this game's come about. I've got assets I can use to make a fortification, a castle. It's all these kind of grey stone building things. But I want to make small wooden buildings. I want to make sort of buildings of different kind of cultures, which all the buildings have slightly different architecture. So I need to make those in Blender and then bring those in, which I could make and put into here. So maybe your player right here goes on to pastures new. Go, okay, I've overthrown this area. Let's move to a slightly different culture. But you have to be careful where it's got cultures coming, because you don't want to offend the culture that you're referencing. Hey Max, how's it going, dude? Evening. Again, chat. How are we all doing? Pretty good. I'm glad it's Friday. How are you, Max? How's your week gone? How are you feeling? Any better? How's your elbow? Hope you're mending well and you've not chopped anything off yet. Cancel culture, yeah. Like, for instance, to reference the Dutch, if I put a windmill and had the Dutch flag on it, that could be seen as offensive. That means being stereotypical towards the Dutch, that you're throwing rocks at a windmill. This could be an attack on the Dutch people. You know what culture I'm referencing by having a windmill with a Dutch flag on, but that's not the point. I don't want it to be, well, here's a very obvious reference. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 did that. Also added a bridge being built while people were dancing with cheeses. So it depends on the humour of the culture as well. Like, for a British culture, I could very much be throwing cups of tea or tea bags. I could make a tea bag in Blender and just be throwing tea bags while a British person kind of runs around in a panic. And the British humour would understand that, but I can't make that assumption for other cultures. Elbow is still bloody painful. It's getting better. Oh, I'm glad it's getting better, Max. Considering, I'm guessing you must have hit it pretty hard. It's going to be a lot of bruising, I'm guessing. But maybe I could make a very cheeky Dutch level in this game where you're throwing wheels of cheese at a windmill. If you, as a representative of the Dutch people, would say that wouldn't upset your country, then I'll be quite happy to make a level where you throw cheese at a windmill. It could be, to me that's funny, but I don't get to say if it's funny or not. It's not my culture. It'd be a bit more offensive if I start sort of throwing, I know, bowls of rice at sort of Asian agriculture. Can't even say the word. I think it is, but then again, I'm not easily offended. Most are, yeah. So I don't want to start offending people. Like, to me, it's funny. And I've played video games in the past, like you say, Tekken Tag, where Dutch culture is reduced to windmills, clogs, and cheese. But then again, the French culture is reduced to onions, long bread. Hey Lisa, what's up? I sell emotes, the best emotes. How's it going? It's good to see you. Hope you've had a good week. But yeah, like, I could quite easily have a building that I throw long French bread at, or throw onions at. But again, the thing is, me as an English person, I'm less concerned about offending the French, but that's just us. We don't care about the French. It's kind of like a national thing to take the mick out of the French. Bruising enormous. Gone. What's painful is the massive hematoma that I've got on my arm. Ooh, I'm not quite sure what a hematoma is, but I think that's going to be a blood blister of some sort, I'm guessing. Hey Max, you hurt yourself when you slipped on the stairs, do you say? You slipped on the stairs and smacked the elbow on the stair? So that's not a pleasant thing to do. Just finished a round of Zombies Black Ops 6. Nice. How did it go? You get very far in zombies. Look, the one thing about Call of Duty that I do, especially like in Black Ops, is the zombie rounds. I'm not too sure about the rest of the game. Not really my thing. But zombies seems a lot of fun. I always like horde mode games where you get things coming at you and you just have to take them all out and see how long you last. Yeah, I'm personally not above throwing onions at a Frenchman in a game, not in real life. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't throw onions at a. Onions is garlic. It's garlic, isn't it? Throwing garlic at a Frenchman. New Year's Eve, I slipped on my stairs, hit my elbow, and chipped and fractured it. Yeah, that's quite a painful one. Because almost dog time, I decided to exfil at 10. First exfil option. Damn, yeah, damn indeed. Yeah, it is getting quite close to dog war time. I did consider streaming at 8 o'clock, but my brother kindly bought me the new Legend of Zelda game for Christmas. The Echoes of Wisdom, where you play as Princess Zelda with a magic staff. And you cast magic to summon items. Which is pretty cool. Pretty cool mechanic. You just go chair and go boom, table, boof. And you just kind of summon a thing, and it's really fun. The whole level design is based around you having the ability to summon items. Like typical Zelda game, before Breath of the Wild, you kind of just navigated and fight enemies, and there's some puzzles along the way. And then in Breath of the Wild, they allowed you to make some contraptions, and then Tears of the Kingdom, those contraptions had full automation, and that allows you to progress through the environment. But this is kind of like brought back in, where it's small environments, but you still have to go, well, I need to get to that higher ledge. If I start summoning items like a trampoline that I can bounce onto and get across a gap. I just went back to partying at my friend's house across the coast. Yeah. You go, bang, ow, elbow. Oh well, more drink, party. Yeah, that's the dangers of drinking. You don't notice your injuries until later on. I'm of the rare breed that does not like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. That's fair enough. They're very different to a lot of the Zelda games. The open world, like Zelda hasn't traditionally been open world. It's been a closed sort of narrative. Is that you're channeled down a certain route. It's a mini RPG that you go on this adventure and the adventure's curated for you. But Breath of the Wild is like a thing's happened, off you go. You go, what? Where? I don't know, just find your way. Pick up things as you go, you work it out. And then along the way you find story. Breath of the Wild is completely different gameplay. It's good in what it is, but it's very different for a Zelda game. And I've only played a little bit of Breath of the Wild, but I liked this new one, Echoes of Wisdom, because it's back to that old Zelda style where it's an enclosed. Each section's a small level. You only get presented with a small environment, and you have to get from point A to point B. And it's quite cool. And the graphics wise, it looks adorable. Like, it's the same graphical style as the new version of Link's Awakening, where it's that almost chibi, tiny, big-headed characters. Everything looks shiny, like it's made with a gloss. It could quite easily be a tabletop thing that's been painted and you're looking down on it, because it's got that tilt shift effect. Playing it on the big HD screen, it's really nice, very nice game. That's why I want it. Nice. I call the older Zelda games rail RPGs. That's a pretty good name for them, because you still get to. It's still kind of an RPG, but you don't have the options. There's no options involved. It's just go from here, go to there, have a little bit of think about how you're going to do that, but it's not an adventure in the same sense like an open world where you make the choice and you can go over choose like A, B or C as to how to get there. You might even have to don't do that. You could go this area first and do this, then come back to here. So that's a bit more open world. They're pretty cool. Like the old like Zelda, the old Zeldas and Pokemon. A lot of the Pokemon games, apart from the more recent ones, but the older Pokemon games were the same as Zelda. It's a on the rails kind of RPG. You level up, you catch different Pokemon to diversify how you progress. But at the end of the day, you still need to go from point A to point B, and you can't really deviate too much. But how you get there is up to you. Go walk the dog, okie dokie. Go walk dogs. Dog walk time. And I shall get on with making a main menu for this because I need to learn how to do it. And this is my learning game. This is my playground and how to test things. And a lot of people make test games of different features. So when it comes to my big game, I'll be building a mini game that only features one functionality of the game. So it's just a mini game about this part of it. And I'll make a different game that's just this part. Then I can test it, play around with it, and when I like it, I can then copy that bit out of this into the main game. So it's kind of like proof of concept. Make the battle mechanic a mini game. It's just a battle mechanic. Cool, that works. Bring it over. All right, I'm going to head off now. Okie dokie, Max. Thank you for dropping it. I know time is not as fortunate as we would like it to be, but I do appreciate you coming in, even if for a short time. It's good to see you, dude. We'll have to catch up soon and try and find time. It's like my weekends are so busy these days, but go try and meet up with some people before it gets too late in the year. No problem, buddy. Cheers, buddy. Enjoy your weekend. Don't hurt yourself anymore, please. And look after yourself. Stay warm because it's freezing out there. And I'll see you again soon. Right. That's enough natter. Bye bye. Enough of the natter. Let's make a main menu. So go back to assets. Where are we? Then here's scenes. Called scenes. Cool. Right. So to make a main menu in Unity, and I'm guessing a few other games, so a level, a thing presented to the player is a scene. Now I should really rename sample scene as level 1. So let's do this. Let's rename sample scene level 1. Okay, so this is level 1 now. It's called level 1. It says level 1 up there. It says level 1 down here. Awesome. Let's make a new scene. Scene. Create scene. Create scene. Scene template. Pipeline prefab. Oh. I could make a scene template. Now I have to think about that. I don't know what the scene template is about. Let's go scene. Let's make a straight brand new scene. As far as a template, I suppose I could. You make the template, then you make a scene from the template, and then because you made it from a template, it's already got everything already in there, which is probably what I need to do. I need to try out and see how that works. But this is called main menu. The scene. So I want to load up the main menu. Cool, we have a main menu now. Well, the main menu scene. There's nothing in it. Completely empty. We have a camera, we have a light, nothing else. So what we do want to do is add in a UI. Let's create a canvas. You have a canvas. Awesome. Really big canvas as it is. Screen space overlay. Camera. Ah, okay. That might be a bit easier. We do kind of want an image for this. Resize canvas. Sorting there. Right, we can't change the colour, can we? Event system. Okay, we'll leave that for the moment. So we have a canvas. Let's add an image to the canvas. We'll call this background. Let's call it menu background. Menu background image. Let's make it green. So we have a square floating there. Awesome. We want to make source image, material. Kind of want this, make this want to make it the size of the screen. What's the size of the canvas? 1169. 169 by 568. Very strange. 568. Here's this game. Cool. So why is the... I need to probably change that. That's probably not going to be very useful. Let's go to materials. Grass. We could make a grass material for it, I suppose. Background. Grass. Cool. It's got a light on it. It's shiny. Let's now add. We want to add a button. We have a button. Awesome. It's going to be a start button, play, I suppose. Go to play. And we'll put play there for now. And height, let's make that 60. Let's move that up a little bit. Cool. Have a play button. I suppose we want a script. Let's save that. Play button. And before we do that, build settings, move that up. So it starts with the main menu should be in there. Add open. There we go. Don't actually want background scene there. Probably need to delete background scene. I don't think there's anything in background scene. So open up background scene. Okay. Let's delete background. Makes life a bit easier. Delete it while I'm not looking at it. It's probably best. Right, go to main menu. I might actually have to look back at the video I was looking at earlier. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting one. So the camera's going to move around. It said save. Let's run the game. In theory, because I put the main menu at the top, it should come to the main menu now, rather than loading the game. And the point is, the main menu then switches to the game. But let's just see how this runs. Cool. Input button submit is not set up. Yeah, that's fine. I know that. It's telling me in the red text that there's nothing behind the button, which is fine. I know that. Being very weird about it. Anyway. Let's just load up this video I was looking at earlier. Because it's a very good video. Playlists. I do want to get back to playing Fallout at some stage. I know it was a bit of a grind, but I was enjoying some of it. And I do want to complete it. Quick main menu tutorial. Right. Okay, yep, he's added it to the scenes, yes. He makes a play button. I would show you what I'm watching, but I'm very hesitant about playing other people's videos while streaming. Okay, he's placed the button. We know how to place buttons. Cool. How do you load level 1? Script. Okay, so he is making a script. And use the Unity Engine scene management. Okay. So we want to make a script. What did he call it for reference? Main menu. That's a good enough script. Make a new script. Create a C# script. Call it main menu. And get associated. And I can actually load it then. Okay, open up the main menu script. And we want to add in using Unity Engine dot scene management. So it allows me to actually work with the scene. Then it needs to make a public void play game. So delete these. Don't need that running. Public void play game. Cool. We have a play game function. Save that. And we use menu function to drag it in. Minus script. String name. No. Might have skipped a step. Let's do this first. Let's cover quick look. Scene manager dot load scene async. Scene manager dot load scene async. And then we can put in a scene name. So level 1. So this is inside the button, yes. Object, yes. Hang on a minute. Let's go back a step. I always put the main menu into the camera. Okay, that's a bit weird, but okay. So the camera load the main menu script into the camera. Fair. And then when you go to play button, you drag the camera in as the object and pick out play game. Cool. I suppose because the camera's going to be there, you're not guaranteed to any other objects. You could make an empty, I suppose. Make an empty object and say, well, that's your script manager. But I suppose the camera's going to be there anyway. You might as well make that your script manager. Makes sense. Saves making an extra objects for not doing anything else. Right, so if I run the game, it should give me the right text anymore because there's a script. It's not doing anything, but there's a script. Oh, I was saying that. It should work because I've actually set that up. Input button submit is not set up. Get button down. Clear the console. Now the event system's not needed, I don't think, because they haven't got an event system on theirs. Oh, they do. They do. What am I missing then? Okay, so they set the button up. They drag the camera in. They select the function of the camera. Main menu script. Then you choose play game script. So why do I get this problem then? Why is it saying it's not liking the place the input system UI? Okay. Is it happy with that? Ah, there we go. Where's the light? Lost the lighting. Oh. Do want some shadows, don't we? Don't want the hard shadows. Oh. It's gone dark. Very intense lighting. So what I'll probably end up doing now, I've got a main menu, is take the quit button out of here and just go return to main menu. Or exit level, it goes back to main menu and then the main menu has quit. So I'm happy I can save that. Go back to scenes, load up level 1. So the light is shining that way. Interesting. I'm going to have to work out why that is happening that way. What's that? Oh, it's a controller. Where's the... Oh, it's over here. Oh, there it is. I think it's because I've got a light shining this way. Directional light. So I need to work out, because the light's shining that direction, it seems to be overriding the light in the other scene, but this light shouldn't be active anymore. Because I'm switching scenes. I think ideally I should obviously build the level the other way around so it's facing the other way. For some reason I decided to build the level back to front. But that shouldn't make any difference here. Back, welcome back, Jeffrey. Good to see you. Hope the dog walk was alright. He's back, welcome back, Lisa. Got some lighting issues here. No, actually, the shadow direction is correct. It's just the luminance is a bit weird. Roads are frozen. It's like skiing. Ooh. No one's skiing dogs. Yeah, it's frozen stuff out there for us as well. Fortunately, I managed to get home before it got too cold. My windscreen on the car was starting to freeze over. So I got home about an hour later than I usually do. And I'm not planning to go back out there until tomorrow when the sun's back. Saw my neighbour after a 6-week vacation in Valencia. Had a talk. Nice. A black Labrador walks by. Ooh. Was the black Labrador visible in the dark? So we need fluorescent kind of light up colours. Barely. As I bought Nix's cats like fluorescent collars so you can see them because they were black. Barely, it almost died. Oh, I suppose your dog definitely could see it. Donya stole one of the panda legs from my panda trash can. No, no, Donya, it's not yours. Yes, ours didn't like things that are alive. If it's breathing, it offends me. Yes. Unless you come with me, yeah. That's 100% how Donya thinks. She also hates things... also hates things that move, but especially strange sneaking up on us in the dark. It's a big no. She attacks leaves as well. Ah. So nothing shall move, nor shall it breathe. Also, help me God, it's gonna die. Yes. I've picked up the personality of Donya without even meeting her. My pets are all godless as me. I'm glad. So they do say owners and pets kind of align in their personalities. There's a special hatred for raccoons. Ooh. The trash pandas and all this. I do not understand. Yeah. And what they did to us, yes. What did the raccoons do to offend you? I wonder. But once we went to a zoo, more like a shelter kind of zoo when she was very small. Okay. Something happened at the zoo. Need to work out if this lighting is subtractive for some reason. And she was okay with most animals, but raccoons made her angry. Ooh. Deeply offended by the raccoons. I was meaning to ask how you found the little power slider. Was it a bit too digital? Would you like it to be something that you hold the key down for so you apply power, or something you can just adjust power by tapping it? So I've got to work that out, how the best way to apply the power bar really. Raccoons were a bit interested and then went away to do raccoon things, but she was angry. Maybe she wanted to play with the raccoons and be friends, but they didn't want to be friends, and therefore all raccoons are bastards. It's cool to hold key down in my attention. Okay. So I could have it where you hold the key down and it applies power, and you have to it starts at no power and you have to apply power each time. Or having the adjustable power where it stays and you just kind of move it. More game like, yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, at the moment it's very digital with its power, but I think being able to like have a power bar which you add the power to it each time, say, well, I need to keep adding power. It means you have to kind of interact a bit more. Donnie started like growling very, very deep when we could barely see the raccoons. Oh. Yeah, at the moment this slidey bar is effectively just telling you where the target is moving up and down. So I've not actually done much. I've just replaced the target for a slidey bar. And that little line pointing at it is just telling you where it is on the... But if I get to it applies power, that makes it more of a challenge. She did not mind turtles and other fish things. Oh, that's cool. She's down with the fish. Maybe finds fish less offensive. Would it be difficult to add a roof on the other side as well? Might look better in my opinion. I mean on this bit over here, because yeah, there's a door there, but it's effectively like a garden wall. Like there's not anything the other side of it, and there's nothing on top of it. But what I could do is take this building and put another copy of it here, but reduced down, so it's actually, because that's a door there. There's a door here, and there's a door there, and a window. But maybe if I took this building and like sunk it, so there's only one door and there's a window on the side, that could be interesting. Fun fact: the zoo's shelters saved like exotic pets that were abandoned or set free because people couldn't take care of them. Shelter actively looked for like monkeys. Raccoons are exotic here. We don't have them in our nature. Turtles. Oh, that's cool that they're looking after all those things. Need need to work out the lighting, but as far as the, because that is literally just a wall with a door. Also had a lot of snakes. Oh. People abandon snakes. Yeah, I think snakes are one of those creatures that they keep growing and growing, and people go, ah, crap, I didn't realise this tiny little noodle was going to get so big, and then they dump them, which is a shame because snakes seem very cool creatures. And I know a lot of very good snake owners that sort of absolutely love the snake and try and do their best for them. But some people go, ah, small snake, cool, and go, ah, big snake, no, no, too much of a snake. So what I could do, go boop, and lose that, and we could copy that, duplicate, and move and to move it so it's in line with the and then we sync it. It's probably the easiest way to achieve what you mentioned. Yes, looks better. Awesome. Let's find the right kind of level to line it up with. Probably about there. It looks better in my opinion, more like a mansion. Awesome, yeah. Because this is only a test level, but if it's going to be a main level, we want it to look good. Let's do that. Because it will still work, because I've got a panel over this area here. So it will still, the game will still function, and I can then delete double wall, delete that one, and hit save. I can run the game straight from here and it will just work. So that's why I put so much work into this game, because I can just do that. Like if I fire this at this now, it still works. But if I hit it at the building, ah, okay, that's interesting. It's slightly immersion breaking that, but then the same happens when you fire at the top of that. Okay. Maybe I need to adjust something there. Cool. Now, the fact this tree makes it hard to hit that corner, I don't know whether that's going to be annoying or actually makes it a bit more of a challenge that you have to bounce things off trees, which could be a an added mechanic that you have to then use the trees to bounce things off, like sort of hit it off the tree to hit something else. I don't know. It's a possibility. Actually, to hit certain parts of it, you need to hit a ricochet. But then ricochets are quite unpredictable. Hey, there it goes. Nice. And I said, the way I've built the codes for this, that could be literally anything inside that square. Like I can make that square as big or small as I want. As long as you hit everything inside that section, it will crumble. Same with the pile of bricks. As long as I make the square for the bricks the same size as the square of the building, there will be bricks. So it makes it very easy to then make more levels. In theory. We'll find out. But I like that. That's a good improvement. Thank you for recommending. So I like that. It looks, as you say, it looks more like a proper building now. Maybe I could even put one on the side here rather than that tree. Put one either side, or maybe some other part of a building. We'll keep this as level 1, and then level 2 would be even bigger. And then we want to add more challenges, like having to bounce things off trees or stuff trying to hit back at you. Eventually giant castle, yes. I'd love to eventually have a level where it's just big castle and yeah, just more challenges. Because once I've got this level 1 polished and the main menu and the basics of the game polished, the rest of it is just levels. Just add more buildings. But yeah, I like that. But we do have a problem to fix. Because I don't understand something right now, which we need to work out, is why. Maybe I've done something with the main menu. Maybe if I like delete that light, probably not the best thing to do, but we delete it and then play. Maybe we can't see the menu because it's all dark, but we'll find out. Okay, it's dark anyway, but and it's dark, so it's not rendering the lights properly. It's fine when we run the game straight away, like as it is, it's fine. But we run it from the menu and it's not as bright. Might have to do a quick Google. Unity switching scenes. Lights get darker when loading scene. That sounds like my problem. Scenes become dark when I switch. That's also a problem. What are people saying? When I play the scenes one by one, they are perfectly fine. When I changed from my menu scene to my first level is darker than it should be. And as soon as I back out of all my scenes, become incredibly dark, basically pitch black. I have to restart Unity from like normal again. That sounds exactly what I've got. Anyone know anything how to help? I had something a bit similar when switching 9 targets back in beta days. It's not that. It's almost like you're ending up with more stuff rendered than you want or something. Have you tried using Unity blog to confirm you're really drawing what you think? Best place to start is rip it to nothing. Add 1 white cube in scene 1, 1 white sphere in scene 2. Add a bit of switching the scene code, attach the UI button, use the event system to do this minimal coding. Frame debugger. I found that the frame debugger, after clicking the play button and I slowly play it to see what it does, no point does it ever draw correctly, as it always renders as dark. He's saying that is now different to when I play scenes one by one. The perfect balance. Personally, I would set up more controlled testing. Pretty new to Unity. Player settings. Switching the rendered path legacy to vertex. That's only one that's only one, but it makes shit like shadows not exist. Rebuild. Well, like press play. This is pretty much rebuilding. Welcome to Unity. Cripes or zeros. Review card. It's a lot back and forth, so it's not like a simple issue then. Someone suggested send it to me and I'll have a look. Yeah, oh, okay. Not what I want. Right. To fix problems, but problem is directional light. If I play a scene from Unity, okay. Restart the level. From the menu, the directional light becomes more dark and strange. Bake all the lights and render things, but if you open the scene while playing the game in editor, Unity not baked lights, render, fix the effects and all. Next doc, this only happens in the editor. Build a game. Okay, so someone's suggesting that's what happens when you're running it like this. Make it into a game and it will be fine. So let's try this then. So let's add a light back in. Can we? Undo history. Because I hit save. Booga. Okay. So we need a light on it, so we can actually see the menu. Create light. Directional light. Cool. Got light again. Hit save and build. Build and run. Testing build. And see if it works. If it works when it's in like a full actual built game, then I won't worry too much. But it does kind of throw you off a little bit. Allow access to wherever it's trying to run. It's annoying in some ways that you can't see all the extra menus that pop up, because they're probably quite useful to understand how the game runs. Carry test game. There we go, there's the test game. Cool, hit play. Of course it's put a menu floating in the middle of nowhere. Okay. The lighting's fine. I need to do something with these overlays and stuff. Because that menu's supposed to be underneath that. I'm not sure how it played on your computer, but this goes very slow on mine. So I think I might have to change something. Exactly the same, okay. Way slower compared to your game in Unity. Ah, yeah. Like, once the... Same as this one, cool. Yeah, once it leaves it, it goes quite quickly. So I'm thinking I need to check the code. Let's check the code, but the lighting's fine. I need to change some settings, I think, then. So let's go to Trebuchet controller, I think. Yeah, so what I think it is, we can change it, is a function called update. and this is called once per frame. So depending on the frame rate of the game, like if it's 60 FPS, this function gets called 60 times per second. If it's 120 FPS, this function gets called 120 times a second. And it's moving the trebuchet every time there's a frame. Now, the other type of function is called fixed update. Let's change it. It's capital F, isn't it? Fixed. Where is the rocket launch? Start rocket launch, rotation, angle, collision, fixed update. That's what it's called. Come on. Why is it being so weird about it? This function is called every fixed frame. Yeah, okay. I don't know why it's underlining it for. I want to change to private, okay. Okay, right. Yeah, so as I say, the function called update runs for every frame. So 60 frames runs it every 60 seconds. Whereas fixed update means it will run it the same amount of times per second no matter what your frame rate is. So I'm guessing if I change that, go back to here, save it, and then play. I have to render the game, so build and run. Let's do it again. Hopefully this speeds it up and we know that that's one problem fixed. Test game. There we go. Oh, it's still slow. I would like it to be a bit quicker than that, to be honest, because this will be quite painful to play. So why is that doing that? Why is it doing that? So it should be fixed update. Function called every fixed frame rate frame. The only alternative is probably doing something with delta time. So animation rate times delta time maybe. Try that. This might do something crazy. We'll find out. Let's rebuild it again. We're looking at for time. Okay. Okay, that's completely broken it. Let's go back, get rid of the delta time. Might have to do a Google of that one as well. Back to Google. So we're happy with the scene lighting. We know it's a rendering thing. So Unity. Fixed update. Slower. Yeah, fixed update slower. What if fixed update slows down frame rate, leading to more slow movement in build game? Okay. Let's see what people say about this one. Notice a major slowdown testing a built game compared to how it works in the editor. That sounds like me. What do people say? Fixed update always runs in sync with the physics engine. It does not always run once per frame. It can run several times per frame, or none at all, depending on the physics engine. For optimization purposes, physics engine runs in relative to the game's timescale rather than the frame rate. If you need more accurate physics calculation when the game is slowed, decrease the fixed time step under Edit Project Settings Time. Okay, so we can actually increase the fixed update time. That's cool to know. Might cause performance issues if you're simply allowing the physical engine to do more calculations within a second. If you need help optimizing, documents here. Once per frame. So that is Edit Project Settings. Edit Project Settings. Edit and Project Settings. Time. Default frame rate 60. Yeah. What's the thing I'm supposed to change? Just time. Just time by itself. Fixed time step. So it's 0.02. And I need to do what to it? Decrease the time step. So make that 0.01. Will that be quicker if I do this? Only thing being with this, it will do more calculations, so maybe the whole game slows down. But we shall find out. Maximum particle steps. Okay. Let's save that. Save the project. And we shall build and run it again. See if this speeds up. Cool. Let's play the game. It's a little bit quicker. Not a lot. Okay, let's try and make it even faster. See if this makes a difference. So edit, project settings, plus 0.05. Save the project, build and run. And see if this makes a difference. Oh yeah, look at that. Everything's sped up though. Because the way that tree wobbles now is faster. But maybe because that tree's wobbling on a preset kind of, yeah, everything's faster now. But too fast. Like, Trebuchet is going at the right speed, but everything else is too fast. Hated that tree in the demo. Yeah, I might still move that tree. But keep it more of a challenge, yeah. I might purposely move the trees and put trees to kind of be in the way. But I need to really think about their purpose. Because the tree's only there because I put it there, not for any particular reason. But if I can do some testing as to... whoops, too high. Some testing as to how a tree is going to work. Yeah, I need to have a look at that delta time thing, because yeah, the whole game runs too quick now. Like, everything's too quick. That slider thing goes way too quickly. Well, that's to be more of a gradual. So I can adjust that with settings and stuff, but that tree's wobbling like it's a spring and not a tree. Well, not the trees wobble generally. I suppose the alternative is I actually speed up the movement of the trebuchet, not the game. So the game stays at the same speed, but I increase how fast the trebuchet moves. So let's put the project settings back. So let's make that 0.02. Again, you can't see what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm changing a setting that says time step. Change that back to 0.02. So that's where it was before. We will go into the code though, and the animation rate is what's adjusting. So the rate is 0.01. So if I change this to 0.02, the trebuchet moves quicker. So that doubles the speed of trebuchet effectively. So save that. So it might be running too quickly in the editor here, but hopefully it means it's going the right speed in the finished game. Let's try this now. So we've doubled the speed of trebuchet. Let's see if it see if this works then. Still a bit slow. Let's double it again. Let's go back to the code. Make that a 4. Save that. It's all these polishing things that make it a bit more. I will do some more with the menu, But now we're getting to like proper testing now. This is testing stage of the game, not just building it and having fun with it. This is kind of like, well, let's make it better. There we go. How's that look? So there might be in too quick. It needs to be somewhere in the middle. That's roughly the speed it was when I was testing it in the editor. Maybe it needs to be a little slower. Because the slidey bar is moving at a speed I'd want it to be. Especially if you have to hold the key down. So you hold the key down, it goes, power applies, you let go, and then fire. And it resets back to 0. Then apply power, let go, fire. So it could even be spacebar, I suppose. Rather than hitting the spacebar to fire, it could be set at 0, hold the spacebar, release, and it goes. Although the speed of Trebuchet is not too bad. It doesn't feel too fast. I'll see what it feels like. I'll knock it down a little bit. Let's I'll make that a 3. Save that. Go out there. So we get into the nitty gritty now, where we just seen how the speed of a Trebuchet works. Build and run. Cool, let's play the game. That feels okay. That's still quicker than it was, but to be honest, the speed at which you're moving a massive wooden structure realistically, I'm not sure if you can really try and apply realism physics to a virtual trebuchet, but I feel that's probably a more accurate speed. Like the reset, like there's no way you could reset the trebuchet that quickly. But in the interest of gameplay, you don't want to be. The real time to reset a trebuchet is quite long. These things weren't rapid fire kind of weapons. But if you guys feel that the trebuchet resetting could be slightly slower, I can certainly do so. But I feel the firing rate, like the swing of it firing, is probably about the right speed now. There always one is at that window. The cool thing is with it at the moment is you can aim while firing. So if I want to fire that, I can actually swing it mid-fire. And wherever it's pointing when it leaves the trebuchet is where it goes. Which I personally find quite cool. It is completely unintended. But I like that you can do that. Yeah, it's very cool. Thank you. I feel it's probably there. No. So half the challenge is finding where the last square is. There it is. Got it. And now yeah. One thing you might have noticed when I had the game sped up is that the cracks on the wall disappeared before the building fell, because the whole thing sped up. But now it's back to original speed, but only the trebuchet is quicker. Then the cracks stay there until the smoke is cleared. You noticed. Ah. Let's fire them at the bricks. Also means that these trees now wobble at the right kind of rate. Because maybe the trees could be slightly quicker, but I just like that kind of very definite movement. The trees could be smoother. It's a very kind of rigid movement, but okay, I'm happy with that. Need to do better with the main menu because we don't want the skybox in the background. We want that. We want the canvas to fill. So let's try going overlay instead, and then just running the game in the editor for the moment. Ooh, okay. Try again. Where is the button? Ooh, it's huge. So the only thing with the canvas size being the size of the screen is that the screen is big. Therefore the canvas is big. Where's the lighting? So in theory, should why is it not light? What's going on? I need to move the camera up maybe. It doesn't really matter where the camera's pointing. Let's do that. Canvas. Why can we not see that? Maybe we want a sprite. Let's find an image I can throw in there for now. Let's go to my pictures, find something that's suitable. Something's not going to get me into trouble. Oh, we don't have images. Let's make a folder. Create a folder called images. Don't think I've got one already. Right. Oh, we now have an images folder. Awesome. Let's drag and drop in this awesome image. Then go to menu background. Drag that into there. Can we do that? What does that need to be? Is it because that's a JPEG? Does it need to be... Let's delete that. Does it need to be a PNG? Is that the problem? Let's edit in Paint, resave it as a PNG. Save as PNG. Straight into my pictures folder would be lovely. Is that MS Paint? It is. I forgot I actually had it's killing me. Yeah, it's easy to convert stuff in MS Paint. You can see the detail. This is a painting that Nick's did. Very nice, it is. It's a very nice picture. That's what I'm thinking of putting it into here. You might notice, you might recognise it, because it's been on my DJ decks. The original's been on my decks for some time. And I've got a digital version here. Why could I not put it in there? Source image. It's an insult for a nice painting to be loaded into MS Paint. I use Paint mainly for converting stuff because it's just quick. Just convert stuff from BMPs, JPEGs, and PNGs. I load anything else up, it takes like half an hour to load it up. At least with Paint, it's there, it's instant. Mac does that without secondary program. But Mac's made for it. Windows isn't really made for making fun stuff. You have to do all the hard work trying to find all the stuff for you. Image, source image. I want to put a nice background. Background, yes. Background, what is that? I'm trying to see in this tutorial how they apply a background image. You set up the buttons, because I can use images as buttons if I want like a fancy looking button. I can just drag and drop an image as a button. It's pretty cool. It literally drag and drops the image. So what's the format of the image? What am I missing here? Is it going to tell me? Well, you have to Google that as well. I've missed it. Go back one. Sprites. Does it have to be in the sprites folder to be counted as a sprite? Do I have sprites? Okay, so source image. Let's do a quick Google then. Let's do a quick Google. Unity UI source image. How to change the source image. How do we do that? Or is this people trying to change the source image through code? Which in itself could be quite useful, but it's not as advanced as what I... This is more advanced than what I want to do. I just want to set it. Source image format. I just want to know what format it can be. Using PNG as a source, as a image in user interface. Following my first tutorial, I want to add an image to UI. So image is a score button. Should be fixing up with a corner, I have a PNG added to assets. So far I've come up with different answers. One of the textures we know. Create UI texture, drag image into image shot, import your PNG as sprite. Create UI texture. Okay. Create UI texture. Do I need to do that? So create UI texture. That's confused me. There's no option to create a UI texture. You can kind of see the picture down the bottom there. Background, sprite 32 by 32. Source image background. Or do I make a material and set it as a material? Does that work? Surely you don't have to do that. None. Let's do none. What you're doing right now, by the way. So I'm trying to set a background image and draw myself, so half paying attention. So yeah, so this green square, I don't want it to be a green square, I want it to be a picture. So there's a nice picture in the background. Once I've worked that out, I can then make a nice menu with a border maybe there's a thing like an animation in the background. I just want I want to have a nice picture in the background. And then once I've worked out, I can then do things like sort of add my own stuff in. A new system needs set the PNG import settings texture mode for mode to sprite, then you can just use them directly with, for example, image objects. So set the PNG import settings texture mode. The what? Let's do another Google. Unity image source image. How do I change the source image? So Unity source image PNG. Can't see any PNG files as source images. That might be what it is. As in a PNG file, that has an image, a transparent layer, is basically border, da 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 da. That's the JPEG supposed to be fine. Background image, this is a JPEG, I can set it as a source image, but PNGs I cannot. Select that image from the project window, go into inspector window and choose texture type. So go to that. Texture type, sprite. Ah, so we tell it that that image is a sprite. Save, yes. Now that's a sprite, it will accept it as a sprite. Oh, I can actually drag it. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's green. Do I want it to be green? I want it to be white, fully loaded. Cool, we've got an image. Let's hit save. Well, hopefully we should see that image. Cool, we see the image. So I can just have any image I want in there, but that's a pretty cool image. And so you might recognize this painting. I did a modified image in Photoshop using this as a an overlay, and that's what I have in a lot of my social media, is this painting, but edited to look like it's been painted onto brickwork. So rather than being a paint on paper, it's made it to look like spray paint on brick. And I think it looks pretty cool. So I just need to design a nice menu. Let's put a quit button in here as well. Actually, if we don't need a quit button for the moment, it's working. We could do having a quit button though. We need an options button and we need a quit button. So let's go duplicate play button and rename that as options. Then duplicate that and rename it quit. Not quite, quit. Is it exit, quit? Let's have a look at what games tend to use. I can't remember if games use quit or exit. So now Stardew Valley has exit to menu, exit to desktop, doesn't it? So I could just call it exit to desktop. No, I'll have to have a look. It's, again, semantics really. So call it quit for now. In software development, it's usually quit because that's what the code is. In Microsoft anyway, like program.quit closes a Microsoft program or stuff you're working in Microsoft. So we want to scale it back a little bit and we want to move that down, then move that down. And options, text, change, 2 options. And quit text, change to quit. So hit save. So a lot of the UI you can just draw in your favorite drawing program. You can make your own UI quite nicely. And a lot of your textures you can make. Well, that spacing needs to be sorted. A lot of this can be done in painting programs, and then you just apply it into the 3D environment. So if you want to like a nice textured brickwork, you can do your brickwork texture and drop that onto a 3D object. You want like a clothing texture, you can make yourself a clothing fabric pattern and apply that. So a lot of 3D game development is still 2D drawing. You just have to build it in such a way that when you apply it to a 3D object, it still looks nice. A little bit of spacing. Oops. So what I can do with this background image can actually have the game title as part of the image, or I can have just a background and have an extra separate image of the game title, and just have that instead. So play button as play game, so I want an options and I want a quit. So let's go to the code. Main menu, so we've got play game, public void. I don't know if Nick's painting suits the game theme now. We'll change that out. It was the first image I had in my folder that I went, yes, let's use that as a test. Let's call it open options and public void quit game. Let's do that. Go save. Options. So options, rather than using play game, it uses open options. And quit, rather than using play game, we'll use quit game. So the only way I think of is to show you guys all the menus that keep popping up is to capture my entire screen. And I don't really want to do that. But if it's going to help people understand game dev a bit more, I might have to do that, because I'm window capturing at the moment, and that means all the menu pop-ups are actually part of the window, apparently. So let's just save that. I want to just actually let's go to scenes, go to that, let's go to the canvas on this one. Quit game. So I got quit there. So do UI controls, do exit game. UI controls, do exit game. Do exit game, application quit. So that's a quit game, application quit. Cool. Save that. I was playing a game today where I didn't even know how to start the game. Then I saw the new game, continue, load, etc., where graffiti on a diagonal wall. Only options was in the middle of the screen. They probably liked it from the artistic point of view, but it wasn't like user friendly. That's something that any kind of designer, software designer, developer has to keep in mind, that there's a lot of things that can look cool, but at the end of the day it needs to be intuitive. It needs to be something that someone can look at and doesn't need to be explained. The only way that could work, like if the wall was diagonal and you had the graffiti, that you want the graffiti to kind of glow maybe, or have a something that highlighted that that was the menu. That maybe when it loaded up the graffiti wasn't there, and then maybe an NPC comes along, sprays on the menu items to draw your attention and go, well, what's he just added to the wall? Oh, it is the menu items. And then sort of the player's aware of them, but not load up and go, where is anything? You need to draw attention to this stuff. I've sent, honestly, now I see it's quite clear on the screen, but it took me 15 minutes here. And that's perfectly fine. But that kind of feedback would have helped the developer if if people had told them. Okay, yeah. The thing is, the angle. That angle's quite an extreme angle. When you told me, I imagined something uh, not quite extreme. Like if that was more tilted the other way, because to me, I have to really look at that to read the text, because that's not readable. To me, that's extremely hard to read. So it's still about design. The concept, I like the concept. I like having it slightly different, but that angle, that building needs to be, I would say, ideally, rather than going from the top left to the bottom centre, as where the roof is, I would say, how would you draw that building? Because that's basically the point of view is looking up at the building. But I would probably want that so it fills most of the screen. Very fun game is the anti-dating sim. It plays like a visual novel dating sim, but instead you are a hot girl that needs to reject people. I like that premise. Instead of you being a boy going for cute girls. Yeah, that's fun. I like when they flip things like that. But I would like that angle, that view is not natural. If you stood next to a building, that is not how you would see the building. You wouldn't be going, oh, let's look up at the sky. You'd be looking down the building, and yeah, you see a bit of the sky in the background. But I would change the angle of that so it's almost, yeah, rather than finishing at the bottom centre of the screen, it needs to finish at the centre, maybe, and then you draw the wall coming down to the centre bottom. So you kind of angle the perspective slightly that you're looking down the building, not up at the building. That's the only thing I'd change. And looking at it, the perspective on the lines is a little bit off. Like the lines going down the side of the building, and where it says go outside, that's not lined up quite right for me. But I like the idea. I like the concept of the design. But personally, I would have angled it so the text was more readable. And yeah, but good idea. Needed to change the design a little bit more. But I've seen things where it is a perspective, a disappearing perspective, but not that extreme. So I can understand why you wouldn't have seen that. Now, I probably would have picked out that was the menu, but I still wouldn't have liked it. And I still don't like that. So great idea, not very good at execution. But if it's an indie game, you can let them off. They just need more feedback. Because I honestly would think, okay, this is a pretty cool setup, and go, oh, actually, no, it's not. Change it. It's not so good. Okay. Part 1 to 100% was about 3 hours to finish. Finished it all in one go. Nice. That's not a bad playtime. Started part 2. Had a way clearer menu. Yeah, they published that and went, you know what? We need to adjust. Need to adjust it a bit. Can I put that inside that? Is it happy like that? It is. And play again. Where's play again? Play again's probably fine. Level complete. I definitely want at the top of the screen there. So hit save. Just want to see how that menu looks. Let's go debug win. That's a little bit skewy now. That's where play again is. Where did that go? Let's saved a lot. We'll compile it, see how it looks in the actual game. And what's the time? That's it, 11 o'clock. At least we made a menu. Next Wednesday I'll probably have to look at making a second level. Oh, it didn't fill the screen, so I need to work out why this is not filling the screen as well. Let's go quit. Well, we know that works. Nice easy one. Go back and run it again. Now the options, I'm thinking of putting the volume sliders, because maybe the music's too loud, maybe the sound effects are too loud for you. So I want to be able to allow you to change the volume. That's something to change, really. So that UI is definitely better. You can't see the slider because it's behind my camera now, but it is to the far side. No matter how big the screen is, that slider will always be on the left hand side, and the selection will be always on the right. But I need to change how the rock selector is, because that's mainly for testing purposes. Wherever you have a pop-up in the middle of the screen, that allows you to select the object, and you have pictures of the object you want to switch to, not just a button that says rock, crate, barrel, but a picture of the rock, a picture of the crate, and go, that is what I want to use. I do need to have to play the game in order to see the level complete thing though. We'll do that and then we'll wrap up the stream there. I do need to change the controls for the power. So the power is I hold the key down. But we made a menu. We understand the menus more. We understand the lighting. We've learnt things. So even though it's taken me 2 hours to make a menu, I understand more about things I'm seeing. And it's better to understand rather than just go, well, it works. I don't know why, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's always the last one. There it is. Cool. So I'm happy with the UI. Obviously it needs jazzing up. It needs all the white buttons I want to change for pictures in some way or form. Cool. Quit. We need to design a menu screen, we need to design menu buttons, we need to design a game logo. So I've settled on the name of the game being Revolt Overthrow. So I just need to design a quick logo for that. And that's kind of the UI out of the way then. So yeah, the power thing needs to be assigned to holding a button down, that it gradually builds. Releasing the button sets the power and releases the shot. And that should be the fundamentals of the game. Or options menu, adjusting the sound, saving the settings. I want to be able to save settings. And then for quality of life, maybe have a timer, like a level timer that tells you how long you've completed the level and saves your high score. That'll be quite interesting. And then you make a level 2 and you can then set times for different levels. And I think that'd be the basic concept of the game now. Because I think the main thing would be the challenge of hitting everything within a time frame. And I could even do like gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal for times I think are reasonable. As long as there's enough challenge to slow you down. But then, yeah, that's the game done. Then I'm quite happy. I'm very happy with what I've learned. Now I need to work out why that canvas isn't filling the screen. I know there's things I need to change to like make it the screen size set. I did see something in the video about setting the screen size, so I might have to have a look at that. Switch to the main camera. But I'm quite happy with the progress. I'm learning things, and I feel I'm getting better at doing these things. But yeah, I'll probably design some stuff. But it's practically there as a playable game. And yeah, I'll work at sort of some challenge things like trying to bounce stuff off trees and have it so you can unlock the things like the chicken. I'm thinking to like unlock the chicken as a throwable item. One of the levels actually has a chicken walking along. If you hit the chicken, you unlock the chicken as something you can throw. So I'm thinking things like that. Maybe the panda is just sat somewhere, and if you hit the panda, you then get the panda. So you end up having to like hit a hidden item to unlock it, if that makes sense. I feel that's probably the best way of doing it, and maybe as you progress, you unlock stuff as well. But like the secret items, I think you probably need to hit it to unlock it. And I've got to work out a way of the unlock and saving it. Yes, would sound cool. Awesome. So yeah, I think I can do things like that. Well, I'm going to say goodnight here, because it is 11:15 here and midnight for you lovely folk in Europe. But I've enjoyed working on this, and so I've got to do some design stuff for it now, which I never thought when I started making this a year ago. I did not think I would actually get as far as rounding the game off. I thought it'd just be like a silly thing, which the title still says. Because it is. It is a silly thing, but it's become a more serious silly thing. And once I've got a few levels in place, then it's silliest. I like it. I might have to put that in the marketing for it. A game that is so serious it's silly. In fact, it's silliest. Yeah, it's sort of. I reckon I'm getting to a stage now where it's going to be pretty complete. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for being here. epic, epic indeed. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone who's been lurking. I see the lurkers there. Thank you for your lurks. I'm going to get some rest now. But we'll work on this more on Wednesday. Once I've got, once I've got all the actual gameplay stuff done, making levels is going to be pretty quick. Making the levels, refining the levels, polishing the levels to make them fun and challenging yet easy to do, that's what's going to take the time, I think, because I can make a castle, I can make it work in the game, but it's just going to be a bigger building. You don't want a bigger building, you want more things to kind of challenge you. You want, as you say, you want things throwing back at you, you want things blocking you. So you want stuff that's going to slow you down. So that's where the time's going to be, adding these fun elements to it. Because, as you say, if you find it fun already that you get to see a building fall down when you hit all the squares, that's pretty cool. But that will only be fun for so long before you go off. This is kind of boring now. I've already destroyed like 5 buildings doing exactly the same thing. So yeah, we'll work on that. But thank you for being here. Hope you have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Stay warm because it's going to be chilly. And we're back on Monday for Stardew Valley. So have a good night. I shall see you then. And good night.